Welcome to the fourth film in our pitched roof series, in which we explain how to construct a simple gable roof. In our floors and ceilings series of films, we introduce the notion of beam-type construction to describe building elements that are made up of beams and plates rather than being solid. Pitched roofs are almost always beam-type constructions. The most commonly used material is wood, as in the house you can see here, which belongs to our colleague Felix Hauenstein. A roof structure built out of wood is called a timber-framed roof. The timbers that support the flat roof sections are called rafters. A roof frame is a very complex structure. Designing geometrically complex timber-framed roofs is one of the most difficult processes in building. The tradesmen who build the individual trusses that make up the framework are called carpenters. They are some of the most highly skilled professionals in the building trade and need an excellent understanding of mathematics. Once upon a time, trusses were set out full scale in a carpenter's yard to ensure that construction was correct. The successful erection of a roof frame is still celebrated today in what is known as a topping out ceremony. Here you can see one of the commonest types of timber-framed roof, a purlin roof. The rafters sit on horizontal members known as purlins. Depending on their position, they are referred to as eaves purlins, middle purlins, or ridge purlins. In a purlin roof, vertical loads are transferred vertically down to the structure below, which may consist of walls or posts, as for angled floor joists. The eaves purlins absorb horizontal wind forces. Purlin roofs can span large building widths thanks to the use of trusses comprising middle purlins and one or more vertical posts. Designing the load-bearing structure of a rafter roof is more complex. The foot ends of the rafters are connected by a horizontal timber to form a closed triangle. At the bearing points, vertical loads are divided into horizontal and vertical components. The horizontal forces spread the rafters outwards and are countered by tension forces within the horizontal timber. A ridge board at the ridge is designed to facilitate the erection of a rafter roof. The advantage of this construction method is that it creates an open roof space. Its disadvantage that it is not suitable for particularly wide roofs. The addition of collar beams to a rafter roof makes it possible to span larger building widths. Cross beams are fitted between the rafters 2/3 of the way up the roof to brace opposing rafters against one another. This reduces the span width of the rafters without the need to transfer the bracing load directly downwards. However, the collar beams change the appearance of the roof space when compared with standard rafter roofs. To transfer the horizontal forces generated by wind loads, the surface of the roof has to act as a plate. Just as with floor joists, there are several different ways of strengthening the timber framework. Steel wind bracing straps can be used to create a diagonal tensile load and so a plate effect. Alternatively, large wood composite decking boards or thick planking can be used to transform the roof surface into a plate. Greater headroom can be achieved in the roof space by raising the exterior walls to form knee walls rather than setting the roof directly on the uppermost floor. Since the vertical loads in a purlin roof produce only vertical bearing forces, the knee wall is subject to a pressure load and therefore easy to build. In the case of a rafter roof, however, it is necessary to absorb the tension load acting against the horizontal forces in the floor. The redirection of the forces produces bending forces in the knee wall, which therefore has to be a complex and costly reinforced concrete structure. As in a wooden beam floor, the geometric arrangement of the rafters leaves a reasonable distance between the first or edge rafter and the gable end. Here you can see not only the topping out wreath raised at the topping out ceremony for Felix Hauenstein's house, but also how carefully the distance between the edge rafter and the verge was planned. Summary. Pitched roofs are almost always made up of beams and plates rather than being solid constructions. A roof structure built out of wood is called a timber-framed roof. The timbers beneath the flat roof sections are called rafters. The most commonly found types of timber-framed roofs are purlin roofs, rafter roofs, and collar beam roofs. The surface of a roof has to act as a plate in order to transfer horizontal forces. Consequently, the structure has to be reinforced with either diagonal wind bracing straps, large wood composite decking boards, or thick planking. Our Pitched Roofs series continues with film number 5, in which we look at the roof covering and the other layers of a pitched roof.